There are two types of leaders right now, the AI-aware and the AI-fluent. The AI-aware leader uses AI every day, but they are still leading the same way they did 3 years ago. The AI-fluent leader has fundamentally changed how they think and lead. This video is about how you move from AI-aware to AI-fluent. A recent report by BCG found that leadership teams who are AI-fluent are 12 times more likely to be in the top 5% of companies winning with AI innovation. 12 times! That is a serious payoff. So for most businesses, the best investment right now is in AI fluency at the top. So how do you actually build that level of AI fluency? Well, AI fluency isn't a single skill. It's a combination of things, 6 things, and I'm going to share the 6 pillars of AI fluency and how to develop them deliberately. And if you need help, get in touch. I've linked to my website in the description. The first pillar of AI fluency is core concepts, by which I mean having a basic working understanding of some of the fundamental principles of AI. That doesn't mean technical depth, but it does mean knowing what a large language model is, how it's trained, what hallucinations are, and how and why they happen, understanding prompting, prompt engineering, and prompt injection attacks, the principle of humans in the loop, reinforcement learning with human feedback, fine-tuning, vibe coding, agents, agentic AI, automations, probabilistic versus deterministic output, context windows, and tokens. If you don't have those foundations, it is very hard to participate meaningfully in any conversation about AI. And if you can't participate meaningfully in conversations, you can't even begin to assess risks, challenge assumptions, or make good decisions because you are missing all the context those decisions depend on. So this is really important. So how do you develop a working understanding of these core concepts? Well, I've created a series of videos that explain each of these concepts very simply, specifically for leaders. They're not technical and they're designed to give you just enough understanding to build context and judgment. And I've linked to those videos in the description. But I've also put together a download on my website, the AI Edit, that goes through the core concepts in a little bit more detail, if you prefer to read or want something you can come back to. Between those two, you can build a solid foundation without having to piece things together yourself. The second pillar of AI fluency is tool familiarity. This is about actually using AI tools yourself rather than just talking about them. When you use AI tools personally, you start to build intuition, as long as you already have the core concepts and foundational understanding in place. Without that foundation, tool use can be misleading rather than helpful. Tool familiarity doesn't mean becoming an expert user. It means spending enough time with these tools to understand what they're good at, where they struggle, and how they behave in real situations. The best way to develop this is simply to play around with them. Try different tools, pick a new one every week, use them in your real work, and see what happens. Just give it a go. That hands-on experience is what helps you move beyond theory and build judgment about what AI can and can't do in practice. The third pillar of AI fluency is industry context, because AI doesn't land in a vacuum. It changes different industries in different ways at different speeds. So as a leader, you need to understand what AI is changing in your world specifically. This is about watching how AI is impacting your competitors so that you can learn from their successes and their failures. And that will save you a huge amount of time. It means you don't have to start from scratch with your AI strategy because you can see how AI is already infiltrating your specific niche. That industry context is what allows you to respond in a way that makes sense for your business rather than reacting generically. So how do you build industry context? You watch your competitors, you follow industry influencers, you insist that your trade association steps up and provides leadership on this, and you read your trade press. The whole world is changing because of AI, and if you're not paying attention, you are going to be operating at a disadvantage. You need to understand what your government is doing about AI, what regulations are being discussed, what funding is flowing to which companies, where infrastructure is being built, who's paying for it, who needs this technology to scale, and who benefits when certain stories about AI become mainstream. This is hard to navigate because there are so many incentives at play and things are moving quickly, and that creates pressure that can very easily distort your decision making. The only way to alleviate that pressure is to form your own grounded view of what's happening in the wider AI world. That macro context gives you perspective, and perspective is powerful. It makes it much easier to know where to focus your very limited attention. So how do you develop this macro context? Well, you've got to keep up with what's going on in the world generally, but look at it through an AI lens. That means following the right people, reading the right media, subscribing to the right newsletters. It does require an investment of your time, but it's an investment worth making. There is one shortcut. I run a session every month called the Insider Briefing. It's a 30-minute live session that covers the biggest AI news stories from the last 30 days and why they matter. You can join it for free any month. And if you can't make the live session, I publish the recordings on my YouTube channel. I'll link in the description. The fifth pillar of AI fluency is ethics. As leaders, we act as stewards of organizations, data, people, and trust, and AI adds a new dimension to that responsibility. It introduces new ethical questions around data use, privacy, transparency, bias, and accountability. And those questions don't have straightforward or universal answers. Ethics is about deciding in advance what behaviors you are willing to defend in the future, and then sticking within those boundaries. Leaders are used to bearing the weight of ethical responsibility, but that weight just got heavier because AI has made it easier and quicker to cheat the system. Mistakes can travel further, and bad decisions can scale very quickly. So being AI fluent means engaging with these ethical questions now, before they become major crises. So how do you learn about AI ethics? I've got a number of videos on this channel that should give you some food for thought, and if you check out my AI Masterclass for Leaders, there's an entire module dedicated to ethics. The sixth pillar of AI fluency is self-awareness. This is about understanding and managing how you, as a leader, are personally impacted by AI. Because AI challenges your business, but it also challenges you. AI introduces new ways for us to be misled by hype, by speed, by confident outputs, and by our own biases. It can make us feel overconfident or overly dependent or pressured to move faster than we otherwise would. Self-awareness is about recognizing where you are personally vulnerable, where you might be tempted to overtrust AI, where you might be inclined to avoid it, where you might fall for its charms, or where you might be reinforcing your own echo chamber. This matters because this is a long game and you need the stamina. Being AI fluent means building habits that keep you grounded, slowing down when needed, creating space for challenge, making a point of communicating deeply with other smart humans, taking breaks, reading. That self-awareness is what helps you be in charge of your relationship with AI. If this way of thinking about AI is useful and you want to build this level of fluency properly, I run an AI Masterclass for Leaders. It's designed specifically for leaders who want to understand AI well enough to make good decisions, ask better questions, and lead responsibly, without having to become technical. You can find the details and link in the description where you can access it at a little discount. And if you found this helpful, subscribe to the channel because I help leaders think clearly about AI.